Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. How you all guys doing today? So, a little bit something different compared to most people. I am back on the farm rather than fishing. So, welcome in. Hey there, Mr. Grits fan. How you doing? I did see your message in Discord, by the way. Yes, I did. Yes, you definitely need a tow truck for that. But yes. We will see. Anyway, so it's Saturday. Yep. So obviously where I've been off all week. Um, kind of wanted to get in, do a little bit at least streaming wise this week. Obviously I will be back to hopefully a semi-normal stream schedule next week. So from Monday. Obviously one thing to bear in mind: Monday, or actually Wednesday, I should say. I may be a little bit late. So what I'm going to do is kind of switch them around a bit. So Monday, I'm aiming to do a 3-hour stream. Wednesday will be 2 hours, and then Friday 2 hours. So fingers crossed. Obviously today I'm aiming for 3 hours. Obviously my wife's not feeling great, so I may have to jump off around about the 2 hour mark. So we'll see how it goes and how she is. But apart from that, it's going pretty well. Hey farm boy, how you doing, bud? Oh, but yeah, this week has definitely been exhausting, shall we say. Also, my daughter has been doing a school work experience week. Obviously, starting at 7:30 in the morning, finishing at 5 p.m. So yeah, she's enjoyed it, but every day she's been coming home
So just do
absolutely
it! Make your
knackered.
dreams come true!
I'm trying, Mr. Gritsfan. I'm trying to make it come true. I really am. I'm slowly getting there with the farm, actually. But what's really weird is that did not come through on my headset. I do not know why. It's friggin' strange, but yeah. Obviously, I've got my phone next to me. I've got my earbud in, so I did hear it through there. So, yay! It's a bit of a pain. I still need to look into why that is. I know some people have had it been able to work. Some haven't been. Is like, oh, ever since they did that update, it's just been a nightmare. Now, actually, one thing I can show off quickly is I have been working on the farm area a little bit myself this week. Primarily, oh heck, I'm stuck inside of the tractor here. Let's jump out. So I've been going through and repainting a lot of the dirt on the ground and putting gravel down. For the simple fact you can actually use the in-game hired helper to transport products better on this sort of the gravel type texture. So just a quick look. Let's go up. So as you can see, primarily most of the farm itself now has been painted. It took forever. It's ridiculous. I've been going through. I've still got to carry on with some more of these roads going over that way, but it's getting there slowly. Obviously, we are in October, so the trees are changing, and my frame rates are dropped real down low. It's not nice. I'm actually currently working on this field here, which is corn. I've got the one next door to it, which I believe soybean to be done. But what I have been doing as well, I've also started doing this road here. It's actually now complete, going all the way over to the orchards. Just a little bit slow. Let me go up a bit higher. And I have tested it, and I could get the in-game helper. So this one right here, if you come into the menu, you can actually set up one of the tractors. So say for instance I want this one, I could set that up to deliver whatever it is it's attached to the main farm somewhere around here, if I can find the correct spot. But yeah, it does work pretty well. A little bit, what's the best way to put it? A bit wavy in places, because obviously the size of the roads here are quite wide. But it does save on having to use auto drive. That's the main reason I wanted to try and do it. Obviously, auto drive is great, but one of the big issues is it is a frame rate dropper. So if I try and get back into using the base game stuff, it's going to make life so much easier. Plus, the nice thing is you can actually set up the in-game helper to unload your harvesters in the same way Overdrive does do as well, which is interesting. Now, I can't remember exactly what I was doing the last time I streamed, but obviously this is the new orchard area. Obviously it's gone right up to the edge of the map. Obviously I think I had all this down anyway. There was a few things left to finish off, but obviously I've got my greenhouses here now. As you can see, I've got 9 in total of the bigger ones. There's 6 of the multi ones, and then 3 herbs at the end. Obviously I've got a couple of composters down there. I've got a couple of lime, the stone crushers, making just lime to come into here. Obviously carrying on along, obviously I've added in a nice little hedgerow. Obviously this grassland area at the minute is going to be just left as it is. I've got storage over here. I've got obviously sheds for the vehicles, stuff like that. So I've got places to put the products, which is quite cool now. And obviously using the product storage, you can take it out of the tipper if you wanted to. It doesn't distribute, so bear that one in mind. But what I have done, if you did want the distribution side of things, oh look at those trees are kind of a little bit funny. What you could do is in my little shed pack, there is obviously the one for the orchard. So I've popped one just next door, and I could just unload the pallet straight into there if I wanted to. But yeah, that's it. So this is what I've currently got. So I've got all the orchard trees down now. I've got the coca here. I've obviously got all the signs placed. The only thing I do need to go through is quickly do a plough and maybe fertilise if it will take, but doubtful. But ploughing mainly, or cultivating. So as you can see, it comes all the way right up to the end. Now I do have some oranges to get done. Obviously, there's 15 rows of 57, I think it is, per tree. Now, the only one that is different in here is the maples, and I've got an idea to make up the numbers. And that's another project I'm actually working on at the minute down south, which we'll get to in just a minute. So one of the things I am doing as well up here is clearing the trees. As you can see, I've cleared all this up to here so far. Um, Not sure if I'm going to clear them or not. I probably will at some point, but it's definitely getting there. The only thing I do have an issue with is obviously these bridges. Obviously, I can't use the hired helper to drive over them. I can get them up to here, but obviously T Miller didn't add in an AI spline onto them, so that may be something I'll look into and maybe send him the update. So yeah. Obviously over here is where my vineyard stuff is. So obviously the hops has been harvested. That was last month. Same with the grapes. I do have. I don't think it's this month. I think it's maybe next month. Maybe. I've got the rest to get harvested at some point, but I'm not worrying too much about it. But let's have a quick look. Hey there, Rusty Nail. How you doing, buddy? And while that's just saving, let's give you guys a shout out. So, Mr. Grits fan, how goes the fishing, Mr. Rusty Nail? Obviously, there is a shout out for Mr. Gritsfan101. Make sure to click on his link, give him a follow. Obviously, he is playing PV Canyon Crossing as well, and can answer some questions if you have them regarding the map. Now, normally there is somebody lurking, like myself, for example, to answer questions if he does get a bit stuck. And while I am at it, we will give Mr. Rossi Nail a shout out as well. There you go. Obviously, he's doing a bit of Fishing Planet at the minute. I know he's still quite a low level, but he is getting there. Obviously, that walleye grind is a bit of a task, that's for sure. I remember those days. Thankfully, I'm up to now 55, so I'm sort of bouncing here, there, and everywhere at the minute. But there we go. So at the minute, yeah, so the oranges are ready. Oh, heck. So it looks like these need to get done. So probably this week coming is primarily going to be October harvesting and stuff like that. Now, while I'm actually in here, where did you get it? Where did I get what? Hey, KW, how you doing, bud? Um, where was it? Yeah, so, um, one thing while I'm actually in the map here, somebody on, I think it was the Discord, asked about the fishing on the map. So, what you will need to do, so I'm just going to cover this quickly for everybody. Hey, Farmer Marks. The Briss? Yeah, don't know. Don't know what you mean. But yeah, thank you. I didn't really go very far, but yeah, I am here. Hey, I'm Trans Gaming. How you doing, bud? Yeah, so regarding the fishing, just quickly. So one thing you're going to need to own is a waterway. Now, normally, if you have like the central farm, I think you do start off with plot one. Now, with plot one, obviously you can do your fishing straight away. Obviously you got to find the spots. There's 26 fishing spots in the river in total. So all this blue bit down here and up and around here. In amongst there is 26 spots. Now to give you an idea, there's one right there. I used auto drive to mark one spot to see if it still works, and I just haven't gone through and deleted it yet. Now obviously plot one right here. Actually it might be plot two actually looking at that. Does that come on with plot two? Really? Okay, so plot two is a riverway. Interesting, I didn't realise that. You got plot 167, 119, and 118. So that's the four rivers you'll need to own. You can have one or all of them. Obviously, I've got them all because I've been on here so long, it's terrible. Now, like I said, there is 26 um, areas. Now, there we go. So what you need to do is try and find them in the river. Now, what I'd recommend is using the fishing boat and just go slowly up and down the river until you get the little pop-up. I'll jump into the boat in just a minute. And what you want to look for is in the F1 menu, it will state load animals. That's what you want to hit the old R key. We'll go through it in just a minute. But yeah, once you find that spot, what I would recommend is hit the old F5 key if you have the developer controls active. And as you can see, if I can actually come down a bit, it's not letting me go down. Come on, go down. Oh well. But anyway, you should find these little square boxes in the riverway. Once you find them, hit the old F5 key and then use the buoys which are in the pack. So if I come into constructions, PV mods, under others, let me get rid of that just a minute. Obviously you're going to have these little buoys. Now obviously trying to place it on the river is kind of impossible. Some places you may get a pop-up saying you can do it. But what you need to do is hit the V for victory key. That will override the collision on the river. And that will actually allow you to place it down around the waterways. Obviously you can do the same with the ports, all these packs as well. So yeah, once you find it, mark each corner or even just one area just so you know where it is. Yeah, I see you sent me a message. I will check it in just a moment. But yeah, once you've found a fair few, obviously I've got all of them now actually, surprisingly. What you can then do is obviously, once you own it, you've got to allow it to rain once before getting your fish. Now, where's my boat over the side here? Let's get rid of this lot first of all. Oops. Obviously I'm in flight mode, so this is going to be impossible. Let's come over here. So obviously this is the little fishing boat. Let me turn that flight mode off. And we'll come into the boat. There we go. So this will be under your PV, well, it'll be under your PV mods, boats under vehicles section. Obviously there's a whole section. So this one right here, the fishing boat, is what you'll need for doing this. Now this thing is quite nippy and loud, so I'll just come out. So what you want to do, once you find those markers, obviously I've got one right there. That's the one I used for auto drive to mark. So I'll keep the F1 menu open just for the minute, just so you can see what you want to do. And obviously this will hold 15,000 litres of fish, and you get around about, I think it's 500 per trigger. Now, it's been a while since I've done this, so they should be pretty well overstocked. So there you go. So as you can see in the F1 menu on the top left there, third one down, start filling the R key. So hit the old R key and you get 500 litres of fish. So then once you've collected that, you go on to the next trigger, and then the next trigger, and then the next trigger. That is literally how easy it is to do the fishing. Obviously the hardest part is trying to find them. Obviously I think some people have actually gone through with the F5 menu showing just to find those triggers now. Obviously depending on your system, it may be a little bit slow, so bear that one in mind. Now once you've got all of your fish collected, obviously in the port pack there, so if I can bring this back up just to show you, obviously you've got all the different port pieces, so under PV mods, others, you've got all these different port pieces. Now obviously you've got this one right here, which is the fish tank. This is what you need to unload your boat into with the fish. This, okay? Now obviously I've got one placed down already, so I don't need to put another one down. Obviously you're going to have one for unloading your boat, and then one for loading into a tanker. I don't have it here, but in the pack, under, I can't remember now, tools and animal transport, I think it is, if I remember rightly. Maybe not. Must be under animals. I know it's here somewhere. Right there. So under animals, you have this trailer here, and this is actually what you're going to load your fish into to then put it into your productions to make fish, cat food, fish fillet, whatever, fish oil. So bear that in mind. You will need to own that as well. Obviously, you can hook it up to a truck, a trailer, whatever, or a tractor if you want to, and it has a decent hitch. Now, obviously, with this, it's a little bit tricky. You have to get in quite close to the dock itself to unload. And let me just spin this around, and obviously where I've placed it, it's a bit of a daft spot, but it works for me. It's out of the way. So you obviously want to get back in there. The trigger's somewhere here. Should get the pop up, and there we go. Obviously, once you get the eye, just unload that into the tanker, engine off, and you can get out, and then get your trailer and such. I think that's it there, actually. There it is. Yes, yeah, actually, I've still got some fish in here already. I've got my little storage here, which is on my Trello. Obviously, it will take fish and lobster. So this is actually distributing to the factories that need it. So it's making my cat food and whatever else it needs. Now obviously I'm just using one of the little hay and forage pack tractors for this, but you could use something a little bit bigger if you really wanted to. Obviously I'm trying to keep things quite minimal. But yeah, all you literally have to do is drive up to that little trigger and you will get the little pop up to say you can start filling. Let me do this. And there we go. So fill. It's only going to be 500. And there you go. Obviously, one thing I did do just to keep an eye on. Whoa, that super speed is not good for you. Let me turn that off a minute. Turn it off. I did put a little display on the top of mine so I could see how much is in there. Obviously, at the minute it's empty, so it's turned off. But it does make an easy way to keep an eye on how much fish you've actually got in storage there. So yeah, that is the fishing. Hopefully that will help you guys out who are still kind of new to the map. And at some point I do want to go through and do a couple of little tutorials for my YouTube channel, because I know a few people have asked about the bogs, obviously the fish. Um, Obviously if you do have any suggestions other than those two, let me know. Obviously I've done like a little cover already. Now obviously once you do have your fish, for example, obviously you got this one here, there's something fishy you can put the fish into. Obviously this will create your fish fillets, your fish oil and your bait fish. Now bait fish is used to create your lobster cages. So if you're just getting started, I would only activate the bait fish just to get that going, because lobster on this map is very, very worth it in the long run. As you can see, I've got a trailer load that needs to be sold at some point. Hopefully it's not gone smelly yet. It's been there for a little while. Um, Yeah, but once you got your bait fish, you want to bring it over to this here, which is the lobster port. Now, it will need a few other things before you get this far. So obviously you're going to need plate and parts, which come from the steel factory. Obviously the big one is the better option for that. Netting, which is going to be your larger Aurora textile factory, and then obviously your bait fish. Obviously that will then create your cages, which can be spawned out. Obviously just empty ones at the minute. Obviously this is now full, so I can actually get the um get the this jobby loaded up with them and dropped off. Um, oh heck, what's it called? Oh, see, it's been a while since I've used these things. Boats, the barge. That's it. Now, one thing I will say quickly: there is two different barges in here. One is the normal barge here is set up for pallet loading. Okay, so for example, the cages are a pallet. They will load onto this grate. Now, if you try doing it on the container barge, it gets a little bit tricky and it puts it off center to the straps. So bear that one in mind. Obviously, this is set up more for those big log containers. So yeah, choose the one that you want to use, or even have both if you are doing it that way. But yeah, grab a barge, load up your cages, and from there you want to go to either end of the riverway. So if I bring this up quickly, so there's two spots you can unload and pick these up. So one is over here, right off the map. You'll see it. There is a little barrier. You can actually drive through it and unload, because obviously this end is also the way up to the desert. But just down the bottom there, you can just about see it coming through. That is the area that you need to be unloading those cages into. Anywhere within there. Once they're in, I don't know if I can get over here. Oh, I can. Obviously, you got the two boys just there. They're pre-placed. Obviously, that's where those cages are going to actually spawn in along that line, just so you're aware. So, obviously, you got that side there, and obviously it is set up the same down at this end of the map as well, the river. But I'm not sure if I'll be able to get through here. I might have to go into flight mode and fly around. Obviously there is a big barrier here, so it's a bit of annoying. Oh no, I can just about see them. So obviously there's another trigger right at the end as well there. But yeah, there is the unloading area in the corner there. And then obviously this is where your cages will spawn at the bottom here. So yeah, hopefully that helps you guys out for definite. But yeah, obviously any more questions? Actually, what I could do while I'm here, I'm going to go into flight mode. And I'm just going to slowly go up the river just to show you guys roughly where you want to look if you haven't found any of these spots yet. So if I come up just above the Bascule Bridge height, so obviously I've got the little mini map there to give you an idea. Let's drop that down to maybe a 5 speed. We'll see how that is. Yeah, that's not too bad. So that'll give you a rough idea on where you want to find those triggers. So there's two. I do need to go up a wee bit. Just one thing I will do is I will pan around, because I do know there is a trigger or two that's actually underneath these bridges, which are a little bit tricky to get. So that's 3. Yeah, so this one here where this Bascule Bridge is, there is a little fish spot right by the leg there. Obviously I've only put one boy down for the minute. So coming on up, obviously we're just by 14, 15 and 16, I think it is. Or is it 12, 13, 14? 14, 15, 12, 13, 14. So that's where I am at the minute. And I'm heading up that riverway. See the one on the left there. So that's 1, 2, 3, is that 4 so far? So that's good. What if I can go a little bit? So here comes the fifth one on the right hand side. So that's number 5. Hopefully I'm counting these right. I think there's one up here. Yep, just on the left hand side there, just coming into view now. So that's number 6. Obviously this is where the break in the riverway is. Obviously this is where my port is on the left hand side. Obviously that's the little trigger that I just unloaded. So that's number 7. We'll come back to that bit in just a minute. But we'll carry on up here and show you the rest. So this one in the middle is number 8. Right after that is number 9. Now where the next bascule bridge is, on the right hand side, there is another trigger as well. I haven't marked it, but I know it's there. So that's what, number 9? And it'll be on this side of the bascule bridge right here. So obviously some of you guys will have the wooden bridge there, but it's on this side here, just to give you guys an idea. And then obviously we've got number 10 coming up by the shop here. 11 by Alcoa. And this bit's a little bit free, so it's quite nice. Obviously, I'm just going to go down here because obviously just inside this little canal there is one trigger right there. So just so you are aware before you get to the wooden bridge. So there's another one. So what's that, 11, 12? Oh, I've lost count already, it's terrible. I'm going to say that's 11. So then just past this bridge here, we've got another trigger on the right hand side. Just past that, there's another one on the left there. Carrying on up. Got one close to the centre. So there's another one for you guys. But I definitely know I've got all 26, so that does help. So I don't know why I'm counting them, but yeah. You got one here on the left hand side, and I know there's one more just at the end on the right. And it's just coming into view right there. So that is all of them up the main section of the river. Now while I'm here, I'll show you, obviously it's quite a large area, as you can see, for dropping off, but you just unload your cages anywhere within this whole area. What you might find is some won't all go in because obviously the capacity is still pretty high. But if you've got a lot of cages, then you may have one or two. Just leave it in the river. They will eventually disappear. And then obviously they will spawn your filled cages with lobster from this side across. Obviously carrying on up here, there's no more triggers to collect from. But obviously you do have the desert, the end of the desert up there for your crude oil transporting and stuff like that. So that's all of that main river done. So if I pop back over here, and we'll head up towards the sawmill now. So up here, there is a few the leftovers. So we got one right here, one on the left hand side by the waterfall. Carrying on up, we have one on the left hand side there. It's quite close and quite tricky, so bear that one in mind. There's one on the right hand side here. Obviously you got a dock just there, so you could technically, like Dave, clear an area here and maybe create a dock area there as well if you really wanted to. It's entirely up to you, and then have like a road going through. But carrying on up, on the left hand side there's another one. We've got another one just before this bridge, which is very lucky I didn't place it a little bit lower. But there's that one, and then there's one more in the bay up top here, and that is number 26. So there we go, guys. That is all of them. There's nothing else around there. I've already looked. The only thing I will say is remember, if you do have the barge or any of those boats, if you're transporting logs, you can unload in the river. the logs right here if you wanted to. There's a big trigger here that will go into the sawmill. And over here, Dave did add in, while I remember, a second trigger on the water for selling your containers. So right there, you can just see the box there. That is for selling your containers on using the barge or possibly one of the bigger boats. So bear that one in mind. And let's get rid of that. We'll get rid of all that. There we go. So yeah, so that is all the fish bots covered. And hopefully, I do need at some point to come through and pick up my coffins. But yeah, this is one area I've been working on a little bit, but not much. I'm slowly working my way across here more. Also, I've got the new pallet factory down and pumping away quite nicely. So yeah. Anyway, that's enough of that. Obviously, that is now covered. The only other thing I have been working on, apart from obviously the roads and stuff around the main farm, is Field 9. And as you can see, it's looking a little bit weird. So, obviously, one of my aims was to create an agroforestry area on the map, and Field 9 is just a prime place for it. Obviously, it's huge, it's the size of a base game map, it's a standard size map, plus a little bit. Um, look at Steam. I will have a look at it in a minute. So what I'm actually let me just cover this quickly before I forget. So what I've actually done, I have now started sectioning it off. Now these rows are 4 combine harvester widths, and this is what I want. So I've already got the first 5 planted. So I've got wheat, I've got I think it's canola, barley, mustard, and flax in here at the minute. That's these first 5. When it becomes time, I'm thinking of using the maple trees to go up the center rows to divide it. That's my way of making up enough tree sap for running throughout the year. I've noticed it's actually getting a little bit low 3-4 months in. So yeah, I think that is definitely going to help out a lot. So what I might do is say half of the field with the maple trees, and then maybe something, maybe mix them up a little bit at the other end. So yeah, it's taken a little while. Obviously, I've still got to go through adding the meadow back on some of these. Obviously, I'm up to here. This is where I got to last. But the nice thing is I don't have any planting yet until I think next year. So I can get really crack on over the winter periods. Once the harvesting's done, is get this finished off and set up. Now, obviously, looking at the map here, yes, I'm looking at around about March for getting them placed down. So March, April time. So it's going to be should be done in more than plenty of time, should we say? But yeah, it's definitely getting there. That's for sure. So I'm liking it. I'm liking it and liking it. And I'm still umming and ahhing whether I want to remove these trees up the center here and maybe replace them. I might do it. Might make the frame rates down here a little bit better. At the minute I'm on 40. Now I'm flying around a little bit, and I did have a update for my graphics card earlier as well, so it's still coming in. Now the only thing it did kind of bug me a little bit to start off with is there is a little you can see there's like a little ripple there going across. I think it was addressed in testing, but obviously where mine was, yeah, pre-testing save game, yeah, I've still got it there. So hopefully you guys don't have that there anymore. But yeah, there's a few spots around there. It's kind of don't like it, but I'll put up with it. So that is my what I'm working on at the minute. I do need to get in here actually to get my sugar beets harvested at some point, but as you can see, I've got a lot going on. I got my 2 New Holland harvesters harvesting at the minute. One is doing soybean, the other's doing corn. Then obviously it's going to be on to 35. Once that's done, I'm probably going to leave it. Maybe plough up one of the fields because it will need dressing. But yeah, obviously I'm going to jump back in here, get rid of those frame rates, and carry on doing my corn harvest. And while I think about it, I don't know if I've got Steam open. Let's have a look. What am I looking at? I have received a... Yeah, I'm not sure I would use it personally, Grits fan. I used to do stream raiders and hardly anybody played it. Um, I don't know. I'll see what it's like later on. And while I'm here, let me mute Discord just a sec. So this doesn't come through, hopefully.
The bridge.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It came through anyway. That's weird. Yeah, so the bridge there, Mr. Grits fan, is on T. Miller's Trello. He converted them from Uncharted over to 22. In the shop, you will find them under construction, and I believe it's decorations and others. The only problem is I've got so many in here, it's ridiculous. I think it's right near the beginning, if I remember rightly as well. Yeah, there we go. So, that's that, that's that, that's that. There we go. So, yeah, so he's got, let me bring this up, make sure there's no errors. Got one bridge right there. Obviously, I do believe that this can actually go over certain areas of the river. It's quite big, actually. So big that even my zooming out isn't quite getting it all. But it's a kind of a nice little bridge. There we go. So there's that wooden bridge. You got the smaller version. You got this one. Obviously, most of these are like from PV County. I know they were converted over to Uncharted back then. There's that one. Obviously, this little small one is kind of a nice little one for a small riverway, maybe. But yeah, the one I'm currently using is this one here. And all I literally did is I placed one down. I got it sort of set up correctly on one side of the river with the height and such, so something like that. And then I went to the other side and tried lining up perfectly. It's just slightly off on one side compared to the other. But yeah, I want to have a look, see if I can add in like an AI spline on either side and figure that out. Because that will help out a lot. But yeah, I could actually run the base game helpers and they will actually run all the way through there now. And obviously don't need to worry about auto drive. So yeah, obviously I've still got auto drive going anyway because obviously it's unloading my New Holland farm at the minute. Actually, that's another thing as well. I did make a start over here. Let me jump over here just a sec. Obviously, I've already had this area done, but I have started coming through the roadways up here now. I've now got this one here repainted. And I've got the road going up to the production area up there now done as well. And partly over here while I think about it. Now the only thing that's kind of bugging me a little bit is these trees are overhanging the road a little bit. I may be replacing them, I don't know yet. I haven't quite figured that one out yet. But yeah, this is going to help out a heck of a lot. Hopefully, just by using the base game helpers rather than auto drive all the time. But yeah, I've got that road done. It goes all the way down to the crusher down there. So yeah, it's slowly getting there. But that's what I'm working on. This area over here where the old sawmill was, It's all gone now. The old Elm Creek sawmill's gone. All those pallet factories have gone over here. I do need to come in through. Also got to get rid of these light posts. And I'm probably just going to paint it with grass for the minute. Um, Still not sure what I'm going to be doing this building yet, because obviously I'm not really using it. Obviously it's the one from the Straw Harvest mod, so I don't know yet. But I want to get these other three buildings moved at some point. Maybe shove them over by the sawmill, because there's a huge area I could put in over there, and then look into planting more trees there. I have no idea. Or look to clear some more of this forest and have another field over here. I don't know yet. We'll see. But that's something for a future project. Right now, I'm busy obviously harvesting and yeah, sorting out field 9, repainting when I can. So very, very busy. So yeah, there we go. Righty, so let's just carry on doing this. And hey there, Mamadou. How you doing, sweetheart? I've missed you this week. I've been kind of busy, so I haven't really been around much. I do apologise, but if you guys are not following Mamadou, please click on her link, give her a follow. She is a great content creator and loving the map. Yeah, she is playing PV Canyon Crossing as well. So, yep, get over there, give her a follow, and yeah, enjoy her streams. Ooh, drink. Mm. Oh, that is just typical. Brand new t-shirt on, and I dribbled a bit of coffee down the top. Oh, that is just typical. Anyway, you missed me too. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this week, obviously I've been kind of not been streaming. Obviously, my daughter has had work experience this week. Um, where it's obviously where she's still in school, it gives her the well, actually, it's all kids of her age gets to this, not just her, but it gives them a taste of what it's actually like in a working environment. And she went for a horse stable because she loves horses, so yeah. But she's been coming home absolutely knackered, um, black and blue from bruises. But yeah, she's thoroughly enjoyed herself. So yeah, it's good, it's good, it's good. But I think I'm pretty sure when she gets older, she'll go into something like animal care because she is a very kind person to all animals. She obviously loves horses, cats, dogs, you name it. She loves the whole lot. So I can see her doing something in animal care or something like that. Maybe a vet nurse, something like that. So, but yeah, I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think regarding the horse keeping side of things, she struggles on some of the bits. But yeah, the place that she worked at, actually, I will tell you something. The place that she actually worked at is featured in a Farming Simulator 19 map. And what's really weird is I actually played the map and didn't even realise. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to put this on hired helper just for the minute. There we go. While I pull it up. Now, I don't know if anybody ever played it, but back in 19, Oxygen David made a map called Marwell Manor Farms. Let me find it. Marwell. We'll just do Marwell. There we go. Let me bring this over to my other screen and switch to desktop a sec. So this is the actual map by Oxygen David. I actually played this for quite some time back in 19 before I found County. Let me click OK. Now, obviously, if I scroll on down, it's a lovely map. Let me come back obviously, this is the main farm area there. Obviously, this is in the UK based. This is the actual farm itself, where the map is, should say. Now, in here, obviously, this is the main road coming through. Now, this is actually literally about 30 minutes from where I currently live in the UK. Right up the top here is Marwell Zoo, which is kind of cool. Been there a few times. But yeah, the actual stables itself is situated right here on the map. It's kind of hard to see, um, but if I actually pan through, there is actual pictures of the actual horse stables right there. That is the actual stables that she worked at or had a placement at, whatever it is. And it looks very similar to how it is in this picture as well, which is crazy. Obviously, since then, I don't know if they've done some development, but there is obviously this building here and this building here. These two have been demolished and replaced. They've actually got proper horse stables, kind of almost looking like this actually, in there. But yeah, it's really kind of cool. It actually is more like that, to be honest. So yeah, and the nice thing is, it does actually have this tree here with the little grass area. It does have that actually in the courtyard, so it's really mental. And yeah, I actually played this map back in 19. I actually enjoyed it a lot. Um, but yeah, it's crazy how small a world it is. It really is. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. But anyway, hey there, OGV Viper. How you doing, guys? Doing? So yeah, that is where my daughter actually spent the week at. But it's kind of crazy that there is quite a few maps out where I've played them and then realised that they're only like 30 minutes down the road, or I've actually been to that area, so it's cool. There's that one. There's it's not Lone Oak, Oakfield. I know, obviously that's another one from FS19. I played hundreds of hours on that one. That's for definite. That's another one by Oxygen David, which is also based. It's about a 2 hour drive from where I am. It's actually on the way to my dad's. I go right past it. It's crazy. Another map that I know the area is based around Corfe Castle in the UK. Right, so I can take you back over. So yeah, it's kind of surprising if you start looking at some of these maps that are based on real places. Yeah, it's cool. Crazy but cool. There we go. But yes. Great, thanks. Good, glad to hear it. And obviously, guys, if you do have any questions about Canyon Crossing, you're more than welcome to drop them in chat. Also, I do have a little list of things I do still need to do regarding video-wise. Oh, let me restore my volume so I can hear that again. Obviously, at the minute, I need to do a tutorial on the bogs. And actually, while I think about it, I'll add that fishing stuff in as well. There's that. Hopefully at some point I will get around to doing them. But yeah, obviously I want to try and get off my starting video finished off as well. I'm now I've got end of summer done, autumn is covered, winter is now covered, so I just need to get into spring, which is probably going to be a lot of little clips, planting and stuff like that. Um, and then I think it's going to be done for the minute. But yeah, I think it's just over 4 minutes currently for the starting video I've been working on. So yeah, it's definitely interesting doing some of these video editing and stuff. But there we go. It is what it is, and there we go. Now another thing is, well, with regards to the bogs, obviously if you are using precision farming, that is the best place to get the highest yield on your rice and cranberries. So that is the whole. It's the reason why Dave set that area up is for the rice and cranberries. Now, obviously, other areas, if you are running with precision farming, this is, look at places like rivers and ponds, I should say, rather than just rivers, but yeah, the ponds. What you can actually do is, obviously, this right here is the pond just above. Obviously, you can see where it is, the central farm. I've actually gone through when the water was emptied out and created a field there just for growing rice and cranberries in as well. And it does, all the ponds around the map have the same soil type as what's in the bogs. So if you're finding that you're not quite getting enough yield off these four down here, look at ponds. So there's one by 51 right there, which would make a lovely little field. You got a pond down here. Obviously, it's a little pond. But now remember, with some of these ponds, they do have the clay spawning in them. So what you want to make sure is to stay away from that. Maybe just create a little diversion around it. So for me, where my little digger is there, my little telehandler, that's where this spot is. So as you can see, it's just coming around the side and keeping that one little corner off. So yeah, you can create your own little fields in the ponds to carry on growing your rice and cranberries. But if you don't have your precision farming, you can put it in any field and you'll get your base game, what, 100%, 120%, whatever it is. But yeah, if you remember which stream you did truffles in, I would like to watch. I haven't done truffles yet at all. Um, I haven't got old enough pigs there yet. Dave has. Now, let me stop it just a sec. So in here, I think it says. Let me zoom out a bit. I'm pretty sure it says in here under the pigs. So in here, under the pigs section, so pigs can be put into basically the truffle forest, which is this area here. I don't even own it yet. Um, when they're aged 36 months old, and they will carry on producing truffles until 130 months. So quite a old age. And the nice thing is, once they're in there, you don't have to worry about feeding them or nothing either. One thing I will suggest, and I know Dave mentioned this early on, is to get your pigs up to 36 months old in a normal pen, then transport them fully health and fully fed into the truffle forest. Now, if I actually jump over here, now obviously I don't own this yet, which is a bit of a pain. I got a feeling. Let me bring this up. Got a trigger there. There's a trigger there. So yeah, this is actually set up as a pig pen. This whole forest area. I'm just trying to figure out. I think looking at this. So within this little box here is where you unload your pigs. And if I remember rightly, in Dave's stream, the parrots actually spawn on the side here of truffles. Yeah, I haven't even got there yet. My pigs are currently probably needing fed again. But let's have a little look. So I think I've got 30-month-olds, so I'm nearly there. So yeah, soon all these ones that are 30, these little odds ones, will be getting shipped off over here. Um, but actually, while I'm here now, I've actually got the money. I might as well buy the truffle forest ready, hadn't I? I don't see, like, I haven't even purchased it. So obviously, the truffle forest is plot 86. So there you go. So we'll buy that. But yeah, once they're in, yeah. So there you go. So there's the triggers pop up. So that's where you unload them. You don't have to worry about feeding them or nothing like that. Once they're in, they're in. They'll actually just go around and snuffle. I don't even know what the capacity of this thing is, out of interest. Let me turn that freaking flight mode and all that off from earlier. Will it? There we go. So you can house 100 animals in here. So bear that one in mind. And how you doing there, Shawnee? Um, all right, you didn't have a clue, yeah. So yeah, you can get 100 piggies in there, unload into there. Obviously on the forest itself, and yeah, the whole area. They've spent a good hour or two setting this whole forest up to basically one giant open pig pen. So yeah, it's kind of cool because when you actually see the pigs snuffling around, they actually dig into the ground, looking like they're looking for truffles as well. I've seen the when Dave was setting it all up, but yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, then you get your truffles, and then from there, the truffles can then just be sold for loads and loads of money. So yeah, that's it. So obviously I've got that. Obviously in the next couple of months, let's see, what did I say? So 36 months. So I've got 6 more months. So what are we on? October, so November, December, January, February, March. So around about March time, I can bring them over and start getting truffles. Finally! So yeah, cool. But yeah, the nice thing is, yeah, get your pigs going. Let me get rid of all these things. There we go. Now, what I've got like was it 2,000 pigs, pig pen, and yeah, the nice thing is, obviously those older animals are still producing babies, so, but also once, what I'm trying to do is, one set is going to the butcher, then the next load of babies that come along will then be kept in the pen for producing more babies, and then they can then be shipped over once they get to the right age as well to the truffle forest and build up and build up and build up from there. So yeah, obviously when they're in there, they will not have babies or shouldn't, from what I understand. Um, but yeah, get them up to the 35. But yeah, you don't need to worry about feeding them. You don't need to water them or anything while they're in there. But as far as I'm aware, they should not have babies in there. But yeah, until I get there myself or I actually see a stream of it, yeah, and I know Dave at the minute is very focused on like Fishing Planet at the minute, so getting an answer from him is kind of hard. Actually, I wonder. Actually, as it's a pig pen, technically it should have babies as well in there. I do know that some people have been able to get pigs to go in at a younger age than the 36 months as well. So there is that as well. So I got a feeling that Dave did fix it, but that's obviously through the animal enhanced animals mod. There we go. There we go. There we go. But yeah, we're all on the ocean kicking right now. Yes, I know. I was actually watching Farming Trucker before I went live. Obviously, he was over there fishing. Obviously, Dave, Mr. Wheels, and all the rest of you guys were over there enjoying thyselves. Who else is over there at the minute? Don B here, and NBC Master Dad from looks of it. But yeah, obviously they've got, or most of them have the DLC now, and that's another thing as well. If you weren't aware, guys, Fishing Planet, the Ocean DLC has now been released. Oy. Obviously, you got two different packs you can purchase. There's a, what was it, $40 and a $60 one, I think it is. Yeah, I can't afford it at the minute. To be honest, I've just had to fork out 600 plus pounds on some new brakes and rear suspension on my car. So yeah, I ain't gonna be getting it anytime soon. That's for definite. Yeah, literally. Oh, when was it? Yesterday, coming back from picking up my daughter, my wheel started making a sort of grinding noise. It sounded like it was on the front of the car, Obviously, this morning I've taken it down to the mechanic. They've had a look at it and said they've basically turned around saying your front ones are perfectly fine. However, your back ones are absolutely buggered, and also your suspension is bleeding out rather dramatically, shall we say? So yeah, 600. Well, it was £625. So whatever that would be equivalent in American money, so maybe a little bit more. Yeah, gone. Thankfully, one nice thing is obviously do a payment option, so I was able to set that up where it's like £100 and a bit, 104 a month to pay it off. So yeah, that didn't help at all. And obviously the end of next month is my car's MOT, so I got a couple of other things I do know I need to get sorted out for the MOT. They're not a priority, but I want to get them done before then, and hopefully it'll go through without any issues. So yeah, I think it's up to, oh, what was it they said? A month? It's either a month and a week or something like that prior the the current MOT expires. I can get it in. So yeah. So end of this month, I need to start looking into getting it booked in for its MOT. So yeah, it was friggin' expensive, not good. Yes, Ships at Sea had a huge update. I did see that. Obviously, I know T. Miller himself, speaking of the devil, did show the listing of that. Um, so that is kind of cool. So that's on Steam as well. But yeah, Fishing Planet wise, I'm just going to carry on fishing whenever I can. I don't have a lot of time myself, really, to get in and do like the Japanese Ocean stuff at the minute. I would love to be honest, because I love the what I've seen so far in Dave's stream and the other guys. And you're not the only one who can't afford it. Yeah, I might be able to afford the smaller DLC for Fishing Planet at the end of the month. We'll see. I don't know yet. But yeah, it is what it is. But how you doing, Mr. T Miller? And there's a shout out for Mr. T Miller. So if you're not following him, make sure to click on the link, give him a follow. Obviously, he is doing a lot of ships at sea at the minute and really enjoying it. So definitely click on the link, give him a follow. Obviously, if you've got any questions about it, he's probably the prime person to ask about ships at sea. So yeah, go for it. Obviously, if not, then obviously there is their Discord. So yeah. Obviously, they're good at answering a lot of their questions and getting stuff dealt with quickly. The nice thing is, obviously, with ships at sea, you can actually literally swim in the sea now as well, which is quite a cool addition that they've added. Um, yeah, the other thing, big thing they did do is they severely dropped the amount of fish food needed in the fish farms, so that's kind of cool. Like it. So I think maybe once I've got all this out of the way, and I need a break, I might jump on, do a bit of ships at sea, and because I do want to get into do some of that fish farming actually. I do like that option, and now that they've dropped it down, I think it's going to make life a lot easier. The only other game currently that I am wanting to get in and play is Ark. Obviously, yeah, they put out the update this beginning of this week on, I think it was Tuesday if I remember rightly, for the center map. Obviously that was released, so I'd love to get on and have a look at that properly. I actually loaded it up yesterday. Within 5 minutes, an Alpha Raptor and some, I'm not even sure what the heck it was, maybe a Carnotaur or something like that, a couple of them, decided to attack me and kill me, and yeah, that sort of ended that pretty quickly. So, but yeah, I'd love to get in there and really have a proper look at it and check out the center at some point in Ark. Uh, there we go. I'm playing Fishing Planet, and I'm on the Emerald. Yeah, Emerald Lake is a great one for your walleye and such. Level 18 and unlocked emeralds. Emeralds is the Everglades is a great one for gar and the basses over there. Now I know earlier on you were talking in Farming Truckers stream about competitions. Obviously, low level ones, players, yeah. I would wait till you get a little bit higher. But once you get to the Everglades, what I would suggest Rusted Nail is maybe looking at getting a decent setup to start off with while you're there, but then look to keep an eye out for when Dave puts up tournaments, because you can get a lot of XP just from fishing within the tournaments. And if you do pretty well, you might even get a reward or two. I'm pretty sure Fishing Planet does have a reward for doing some of the competitions anyway. It's not part of the competition, but I think it's like one of the like if you do so many tournaments, you get like a reward. So there is that as well. But yeah, the Gar over there is a pretty good one for XP. But yeah, the bass, the largemouth bass, is a really good one. Obviously, I know now that they've kind of nerfed the twitching over there. Obviously, before you could do like I think Dave called it sky twitching, where you have the rod up and just sort of slowly bring the line back in. Obviously, you've got to go back to doing it the old-fashioned way, where you're reeling in slowly and then twitching. To be honest, he spent about what was it, half an hour to an hour trying to do it, and yeah, did okay. I think he ended up in what about a fifth place at the end of his little tournament. When I jumped on, I did about 20 minutes of doing it the proper twitching, shall we say. I ended up catching three uni largemouth. That was what I was aiming for, and I think it was 6 or 7 trophies in a matter of maybe 20, 30 minutes. So yeah, it works great for me because I technically beat Dave just in that first 20, 30 minutes. So, but yeah, it is something that you do have to learn that twitching again properly. But yeah, just hold down your left mouse button to obviously keep it on the low reeling in option, and then just with your right mouse button, just twitch it every now and again, and you should get that twitching popping up. So yeah, that's what you primarily need for a lot of the fish, that twitching action. But yeah, obviously if you've got any questions about Fishing Planet, obviously remember there is the Fishing Planet channels in the SGA Discord. Obviously Big Daddy will probably answer most of them, but there is other people like Shawnee, Don B here, Mr. Wheels occasionally, Farmer Trucker will try and answer you when they can. Obviously under the fishing talk section, there's a whole lot of rigs that Big Daddy has set up and used multiple times on different rivers. So check that out for ideas on what you need to be using over there. So there is that as well. But yeah, if you do get stuck, just put a comment in there, and I'm sure Big Daddy will go through and answer as soon as he can. Obviously, he is around usually quite often in certain people's streams to help answer those questions anyway for the low level guys. I'm using your animal sheep and goat pens that you listed on on your page. I don't have any goat pens on my Trello, but my sheep pens are definitely there. The goat pens are actually in the pack. I don't see where the product spawns. Okay. So, luckily I have mine placed down already, all of them. And we'll come over to this cow pen. So, obviously, basically the pens are exactly the same. So you got your goat one. Obviously, you've got the little trigger here for loading your animals into. Obviously, the ones in the pack have now got obviously the little goat symbols. Obviously, the pallets will spawn next to the shed where the feed goes. So obviously the sheep pen itself, obviously you've got your unload trigger for your feed here. Right next to that is a little gap, and this is where your pallets will spawn. It'll be 6 pallets. Once it's full, you want to get them out of there. And obviously that is going to be the same for the goat pen. Obviously this is where your cashmere will spawn. No, no, I didn't bother adding a marker or nothing. Now, one thing to remember as well, obviously, with the goat pens, you will get goat milk out of it. Now, if you take out goat milk, you can also store goat milk in these as well. Just bear that one in mind. So if you do have a little bit left over, whack it back into one of the pens, and you'll be fine. I figured that one out the other day. I didn't even realise I had done that, but yeah. So if I grab a tanker, I don't know if I've got one around here actually. Bam. Heck, 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 heck. Why is it whenever you try to find a tanker, you can never find them? But yeah, you can actually unload milk back into it. Nope, I can't find it. It's somewhere. But yeah, that is literally where you want to go. Obviously, this is my little pig pen here. This is on my Trello as well. It's a nice little one. Holds well, 3,000. Really? 3,000 animals? Wow. But yeah, I need to keep an eye on their health because I did go through and increase the capacity on this, and they've gone through so much so quickly. It's ridiculous. But I love my little piggies. Yeah. It's literally every day I'm having to come to them because they're eating so much. It's mad. But look, I got little baby goats. Hello. And I got mummy goat. Hello, mama goat. But yeah, I actually went through last month and cleared out a lot of the animals that were in here because they were the right age to go over to the butcher. Hello, mate. Hello. 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 Oh, you good boy. Yeah. And hello, mama. Hello, mama. Where did I put my pens? So this is where field 42 is, Rusty Nail. Right there, actually, let me reactivate them because I did turn a few of these off. So here we go, and I'll turn all these on because yeah, the biggest issue is the amount that's in here. You can barely actually see where it is, but yeah, this is field 42. I literally got rid of the fields. I cleared the trees next to it. This whole area got cleared out of all the trees and that. I deleted basically the field. The number is still there to give an idea. You can just see it below the marker there. But yeah, I've got all my animal pens in here now. Um, and obviously with the last one of the last updates is obviously these little um, info triggers, these little what you call them, hotspots were updated as well. So the cat pens will show as a little kitty cat. The ducks will have a duck on them. I'm not sure if I can find a duck one. There we go. So there's a little duck. So you got a little duck there. The dogs will have a dog on there. I don't know if I can find it, but there's one in here as a dog, and so on and so forth. Actually, let me deactivate a few of these just to make this life a little bit easier. Da 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 da. Okay, so they're under the productions. Oh, there we go. Let's get rid of that. So there you go. So there we go. So you got your deer pen, which now has a deer. Obviously, goat has a goat on there. I believe under here. There you go. So there's your little doggy there, and then obviously duck. So yeah, obviously they're all in the pack anyway. So you should now have these showing like this, which is quite nice. So yeah, it's kind of cool. And obviously now that I know how to do that, it kind of gives me ideas for the future. So obviously one thing is obviously that is something that can be changed quite fairly easily. Obviously the markers themselves are pretty easy to update. So in the future, I'm kind of thinking creating my own icons for Dave's map or my map or whoever's map next farming simulator game, which I think is going to be kind of an interesting thing. And talking about that maps as well, let me just get this guy going, because otherwise this field's never going to get freaking done. Um, I've kind of made a start on map making as well now. Let me put it on two so you're not going too fast. Um, it's going to be quiet for just a minute. I want to load. So obviously, I have said I'd love to make a map for Farm Sim. Obviously, one stipulation was if I was to do a map and release it, Giants needs to add in alpacas into the game. Obviously, I haven't got a clue what's going to happen in FS25. They may add it, they may not. So, what I have done, obviously, try to remember everything I could remember from Dave's streams in the past. I've actually made a start on my own little map. Obviously, this is never going to be released, so don't worry about it. It's more a learning thing for me. So I've actually taken the Hot Belleron map, which is the French map. Been able to flatten it. I've been able to go through, or actually almost flatten it. There's a little bit right here that I noticed the other day that I missed, but I'll get around to that at some point. I've been able to flatten it. I've been able to retexture it so it's grass. I was able to, over here, I had 3 fields that wouldn't delete. Obviously, thanks to Mr. Dave, obviously, he told me exactly what I needed to do that. It was under one of the foliage layers. But I've kind of been playing around, trying to create what I think would be a map I would play primarily. And this is what I've currently got up to, and I've only been doing this a couple of days. It's taken a lot to try and figure things out and how I want it. But obviously, this is only a standard size map, so bear that in mind. And obviously, if I was to do it, I'd probably look at a 4x map to give more field area. But yeah, but up in the corner here, I've created like a little forest area. I've still got to add in the trees. But I wanted a area that had like a mining area in it and the sawmill area. So that's what I've done. I've obviously gone onto the Hot Baileron map. I kept this actually from it, which is the sawmill from there. I've got that now placed where I want to. I need to figure out how to add the triggers and everything, get that loading in properly for the production side of things. Over here is going to be a little mine, because obviously this is a base game map, so there's not going to be things like coal, um, ore and all that on here. So I thought, why not just set up a small mine for stone, for example, to pick up. So this is what I'm playing with this at the minute. Now, obviously, what I'm learning at the moment, I can then use later on to create. Obviously, if I wanted to do a semi-mining map, kind of like Dave's PV County or PV Candy Crossing or Wolf Creek, whatever, that has lots of mining materials, I'll have the bases there already. Fingers crossed. Obviously, I need to figure out obviously the height, obviously what I want. I could technically, if really wanted to, is adding an area for the iron ore. So you could run the platinum DLC on here as well, to be honest. Um, but yeah, that's what I've got so far. Obviously, I'm going to be primarily using the spruces to go up and around here. And overall, I'm kind of liking how it's coming so far. I've already got some foliage down on here. Um, but yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly how else I want it. I'm kind of thinking in a central area at the bottom here, like a town or a big village or something. I don't know. Primarily where your sell points are. Maybe a couple of reductions in there. Your animal pen, animals buy point, stuff like that. And then obviously around the rest of it is going to be fields and stuff like that. Obviously, this is a long project. It's not going to be something that could be done overnight. I've been looking at different buildings. I found this one off on the Alpine map, which I quite like the look of. The only problem is it's a little bit bigger than what I want for a animal buy area. I might use it just temporarily, so we'll see. Um, but yeah, I'm literally looking at all three of the base game maps for different models, buildings, stuff like that. Obviously, for example, Hot Baileron. I've got the sawmill off of there. Obviously, off of the Alpine map, I've got the animal dealer. And then obviously the Elm Creek, I've got these guys. So I've got the vehicle storage area, or the vehicle buy point, and the fuel station. So yeah, it's still a work in progress. Stuff are going to be removed, moved around, and yeah, that's what I'm currently working on at the minute. But obviously, this is obviously kind of setting me up for 25, if that's what's going to be coming out at the end of the year, which a lot of people are saying is coming. So it's definitely getting there. Now, obviously, everything that was in the map is still in there. Not quite sure what the heck that was. But yeah, some of this stuff that will be removed at some point once I am finished. Let me just show that again. Is that visible? Okay, so that's the background. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing. I've literally dropped everything down. What is that then? Because that is weird. What was that on? There's something right there connected to something. What is this? That's part of the. That's not the background. There it goes. Part of. Okay, so that's. Oh, that's the BGA. It's connected to the fuel station from some weird reason. Group. Okay, good to know. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of working on at the minute in my spare time. But it's just more of a learning thing for me, primarily for setting me up in the next game. And who knows, I might even be able to learn how to add in different fruit types along the way. So yeah, it's a learning experience for definite. And obviously, the nice thing is I do have Dave, NBC out there, hopefully Mr. Surfing Cowboy, and other peeps to help out, point me in the right direction. And who knows? Dave did mention that he was aiming to try and do some tutorials when 25 comes out on map making, so I'm trying to get a head start basically. But yeah, I'm not sure how it's all going to look. Obviously, being in the UK, I think it's going to be a bit of a mixture of American and UK style map. But I definitely want to do it on a 4x map. I don't think anything smaller would be any good. Or yeah, I think that'd be a good start on a 4x. So yeah, thank you, Farmer Marks, by the way. Yeah, it's getting there slowly. Oh, so yeah, that's what I'm working on at the minute. Because obviously, a lot of the little projects for this map I've done, which is kind of nice. Let me get rid of this guy. So I can actually start looking into. I'm making lots of notes as I'm going, and believe it or not, I've actually looked on YouTube a couple of times for a few things. Um, what was it? Farmer Bob, I think it is, on YouTube was able to point me in the right direction on one or two things as well. So, but yeah, I primarily want to try and figure things out myself when I can, and only have to ask when needed. But yeah, I think if when it comes to the crop side of things, adding them in is going to be the fun part. What I might even do is look at exporting, say, one of the extra crops from here, or Wolf Creek, for example, and bring them into that map and see if I can get it working that way. But yeah, we'll see. And heck, if I ever do get it finished, I might even send it out to a few of you guys just to see what you think of it, and what you would suggest on improving or removing or whatever. So, but yeah, one thing of the big things that bugs me about this map, obviously, where it's pre-released save game, is there is landscaping spots that are kind of annoying for me, which have been fixed for you guys. Um, so yeah, well, that's one of the things I will be focusing on is making sure before I do a new save on any map from now on is make sure any of those landscaping bugs are done and smoothed off. But yeah, obviously I started this save game, if you guys weren't aware, pre-release. Um, I think I had about a week, maybe 2 weeks worth of play on here before you guys got it. So there's a lot of little bumps here and there around the map that have been fixed for you guys, but not for me. So yeah, obviously Field 9 being the big one, that big ridge going right all the way through it is really annoying. I would love just to have that smoothed off a bit more. But yeah, it's fun. That is for definite. But yeah, tree wise, I'm thinking primarily using the spruces because obviously they don't change colour. Um, so that is going to be a big hit, I think, for frame rates. It's not going to be removing too much, if any at all. Um, I am thinking maybe if I was to use any of the decorative ones, I'd use the birch trees, the ones that's up on the ridge there, around the central area only. So yeah, and a few bushes and stuff just to make it look pretty, shall we say. But yeah, obviously want to get in and see if I can figure out how to group place the trees up in that top corner. That's my next thing to figure out. I know Dave was able to do it. Um, I'm not sure if he set up a script for that and had the different trees. I can't remember. Rather than just doing one at a time, all the time. But yeah, and also remember the key bindings as well in there for doing some of the stuff. It's yeah, I keep forgetting. It's not good. It's been so much of a while since I've done drop onto like the terrain, for example. But yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there. I'll get there. So I've got a feeling I'm gonna be bugging Dave quite a bit over the next few months. Oh, how do you do this? How do what key bindings this and that? uh, it's like for example, if you ever watch Dave stream, when he's map making, obviously where I've got those trees brought in, he'll do the exact same thing, and it'll obviously spawn in on the center of the map. Obviously, where it's a 16x map, he'll click on it in the list, and then paste it right in front of him. It's like, oh, I know he's told me before, but I cannot remember how the heck to do it though. So yeah, that's things like that I need to remember again or figure out and make a proper note on how to do it. But yeah, it's getting there, it's getting there. Obviously, actually, there was another thing as well in there. There is a pond. Um, obviously, where that road is coming down from the forest, there's going to be a little pond on the right-hand side as well. That is, yeah. I think it's going to be more American, to be honest, at the minute. Oh, there we go. Come on, come on, come on. We'll get you back up there. But yeah. Fun, 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 fun. But yeah, it's definitely a learning experience creating a map. It is something that you need a lot of time as well to do. Oy. I think at the minute, just that bit there, it's taken me. When did I start that? It was Wednesday, I think I actually started that. Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday. I flattened it. And then Thursday, I started creating that mountain ridge area. Yesterday, I obviously added in the buildings back into it. So yeah, it takes a while. But yeah, even on a just a base game sized map, it does take a while. Obviously, when you get really into that central part where obviously I want the um, town, as I suppose it is, where the production is going to be, that is where a lot of the detail is going to be coming in. Obviously, the roads and stuff like that. So, obviously, do I want to use things like proper roads, or do I want to paint them in? Do I do this? Do I do that? It's a huge thing. Anyway, didn't you say you made this silo? There's a production? The one in the pack I got isn't. So, on my Trello, there is the small shed pack. Now, if you come under the PV mods under storage, scroll through, you've got all of these right here. Now, most of these are set up as production, basically storage productions that can be distributed. Obviously, this one I've clicked on is I call it construction. So, the one on your main. So the silo there, that's just a storage silo. Um, so yeah. Yeah, I don't know how actually have a grain silo of sorts. T Miller has a whole pack of placeables for. I think it's T Miller has on his Trello packs for like the mining materials, and I'm pretty sure he's got one set up for the grains and such as well. But yeah, your production wise for your pallets and stuff like that. Obviously, I've got this. Obviously, if you're any good at editing, there is one called crops and orchards in there. All you have to do is go into the mod description and make it show in game again. Um, Let me show you what I mean. So if I come into here, so desktop, if I come down, so small, where is it? Storage, sheep, shed storage, there it is. So mod description right there. So in the pack itself, obviously I've got the one that's set up for the premium stuff as well. But if you look in here, you should have this one right here called grains. As long as that's still in there, if you look in the mod description, um, under this line right here, it will look something like, if I can remember how to do it. Was it that one? Nope. That one? Dang it! I can never remember how to do it. Ah, fudge. I know there's a blinking shortcut for doing this. Control Q. That's what I was doing. Control Q. Oh, I know what it is. It's because I've got it zipped up. One sec. Let me bring that out there a sec. Desktop. Where are you? Oh, I want the mod description, not that one. So let me drag that out there. This will help. Yeah, so make sure that it's unzipped. Yeah, so obviously you got your grain one right there. So how that? It'll look something like that, where it's greened off. All you literally do is you can either just highlight these sections either side and delete them. That will reactivate that XML. Or if you're using Notepad++, if you actually select the line, so 41 for example, and do left control Q, it'll remove those green markers and reactivate it that way. I keep forgetting on doing it. I actually made a note of it the other day because I think it was Green Thumb Farmer had mentioned about it, and then oh quick, I make a note of that. So yeah, I jotted it down. So yeah, just to Actually, let me zoom in a fraction just so to make that a little bit easier for you guys to look at. Uh, where the heck's the zoom in this thing? View, zoom. So control wheel in. There we go. Okay. So just to bring that up just a little bit, but so you're looking for obviously the grain one. There might be the mining one in there as well. You could reactivate if you wanted to. That's for your mining materials to be distributed wherever. If it's in there, you're more than welcome to reactivate. But yeah, just click on that 41, then left control Q will highlight, deactivate it basically, and then reactivate it. So yeah. So if you got it, look in the mod description, and that will actually create, reactivate the actual grain XML, which is this one right here. So let me zoom out, and obviously this should be the same as what you guys have, and it will take your wheat, your barley, your oats, your canola, maize, which is your corn, sunflower, soybean, pretty much everything and anything in there. Obviously, remember, obviously maize is corn. Linseed, if you're wondering what that is your flax. It will take hemp as well, by the way. But in the listing, excuse me, a burp there. If I actually scroll down, this is where it becomes a little bit weird. This should, oh no, it's the hops. Um, is read a different name. But yeah, there you go. So even your sugar beet cuts you could put into it if you wanted to. Your orchard stuff is all in there. Your vineyard stuff is in there. Shimal, there you go. That's your hops, by the way. But yeah, obviously that's one option. Yeah, I don't have any distribution silos set up, but yeah, Team Miller might have one. Green Thumb makes some, but I'm not sure if they're distributing ones though. Yeah. But yeah, if you've got this mod, you could always activate that. It's literally just a trigger, kind of like the one that Barrow Logistics has, where you place it down and then unload into. I've actually got one just here. Let me come down a bit. Wee flying. That you can unload into just like that. And obviously I've just placed a little display sign next to it to make life a little bit easier to see what's in there. So yeah. But yeah, what have I actually got in here at the minute? Okay, yeah, so I do have some stuff in there. I haven't really used this in quite a while, but it's getting there. Jeez. But yeah, obviously you still get your pop up there. But yeah, obviously I've got my little silo as well that stores. It's only a small. I think it's about 1 million litre capacity on that. So you could use it if you wanted to, if you're getting a little bit strapped for time. If not, just look at Mr. T Miller and yeah. Get back into here. But yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll go on till 7 o'clock my time. I know my wife wasn't feeling the greatest earlier on, so I'll probably jump off at 7, and then obviously Monday I will be back on for 3 hours. Ooh, 3 hours all for me. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Actually, I'm going to leave it for the minute. I do want to get in and do some sugar beet cuts. So I've got a field of sugar beets down there. But I've got very little sugar beet cuts. Now, one thing I have been doing as well is bringing over the vouchers over here as well that were used for the premium field. So the what was it? The carrots primarily, red beets and parsnips. I've actually now got them brought over here. I'm still waiting on that storage, the production. I think it's the preserves. I'm not sure if it's the preserves or the soups that's left over there on the side to finish the last little bit off. Oh, slow down. There we go. But yeah, and obviously one thing as well, I know a few people have mentioned about sugar beet cuts as well. How do you get sugar beet cuts? Now I do know on the in-game mod hub, there is a couple of mods that will give you them. So just a quick go through. Under front load attachment or front load tools, firstly you have the Flegel Ruby 2000. That, if you put sugar beets into it, can... Oh, that was weird. Um, Unload sugar beet cuts. So that's one way of doing it. Under option 2, if you have the TLX Phoenix pack, and I'm pretty sure it's under this one here. Yep. So under your forestry machinery, you've got this thing called the crusher here. And this will actually take sugar beets in as an input product and will output sugar beet cuts. But it will also do stone from your field into lime, and it will also do wood or logs into wood chips. So yeah, if you've got the Phoenix, grab that. That's another option. I know a lot of people are using the Phoenix anyway, so that's probably your best option. It's got a pretty good capacity there for it. So that's option 2. Option 3, if you can find him, Big Daddy, bless his cotton socks, he, a long time ago, right after 22 came out, created a trailer for doing sugar beet cuts as well. So there's another option. Um, I might be able to get hold of the link for it at some point. I need to see if Big Daddy can send me it, and I'll make a note of it for anybody who wants it. Obviously, it's just a simple edit of the base game trailer itself. It'll hold sugar beets, but will unload sugar beet cuts. So that's option 3. Option 4 for sugar beet cuts is obviously going to the in-game mod hub. There's tons of mods out there that will do, whether it's replaceable or it's something similar to this, for example, that I've shown already. The other option is under, if you have any of my root crop stuff, on my Trello you have my root crop harvester. In there's actual the rear piece. It's got two pieces. One that will unload all your crops as normal as they come off the field, but then you got the second one here that is for sugar beet cuts. So basically, it'll harvest your sugar beets, but then will unload the cut version. So that's another option for you guys as well. Obviously, I did set up a trailer in there to transport all of those crops as well, and the sugar beet cuts as well. So yeah. Yep, already covered that, Mr. T. Miller. Obviously, once again, if you weren't sure where that is, I know a lot of people kind of get confused where it is. Obviously, one option is you could actually go into your downloaded mods, find the TLX Phoenix, which is right here, the series. Scroll on through the attachments and it's right there. Obviously, the crusher. But if you're trying to find it in game, it's under forestry machinery, and then just scroll to the end, and it's right there. Obviously, you got your color options, which are ridiculously long. There for you. You can't even see where the bottom of the freaking thing is. It's that long. That's ridiculous. But yeah, if you're a John Deere fanatic, like Mr. T. Miller, you could make it John Deere coloured if you really wanted to. Something like that. Not sure about that. Or if you're a Case fan, for example, you could come in and do something like that, for example. But yeah, it's all in there. But yeah, obviously my harvest is there. This is here. This placeables on the in-game mod hub. Obviously, base game wise, you have that Ruby front loader attacher. So yeah, there's a whole variety of them. Now, obviously, while I'm here, I do want to grab this. Actually, I'm actually going to buy it, and I'm going to set this up in a different color. We'll go with beige, I think. Shame we couldn't get those belts to change as well, but it is what it is. Unreal capacity for definite. Rims, we'll throw on a bit of a... Oops, didn't mean that. I want the beige back. Come back. I want that. Let's go with a slight off. There we go. So that's my one for the cuts. It'll save me a little bit of time as well. And obviously you do need the front piece as well for obviously topping. So I can do this. Excuse me, burp. If I can get into it enough. There it is. And obviously being beige, it'll also match the header hopefully. So that's good going. Yay! So yeah, obviously that one right there is just a normal one. Now, if I remember rightly, the one that I've got, I've edited the harvest width as well. So I do apologise. Been working on a few tweaks here and there, but let's use this. This will do fine. We'll get that sorted out. Tima, can you get the updated Homer so I can colour it? Rusty, now the best option is just to go into Google and search for like FS22 Homer. You'll probably find it. As long as it's not the one that's on the in-game mod hub, you should be fine. Speaking of carts, it's 1:40 here, and I need to mow the yard before it rains. Alright there, OGV Viper. Cool, you go for it, bud. Yeah. Obviously, I'll be jumping off in about 15 minutes. We'll probably be joining whoever's live out there. I'm not sure if it was Mr. Wheels or Mr. Dave going live. But yeah, probably going to be one of the SGA guys who is streaming Fishing Planet, that's for definite. And what am I getting notifications through? Steam, you have a new friend invite. Okay. Oh, that's another area as well right here. I've actually been painting as well, so does work pretty well. But yeah, I want to look into Mr. T Miller's bridge pack and see if I can add some splines onto that bridge that I've got placed down, because that will help out a heck of a lot. I know Green Thumb Farmer has already gone through his bridge pack, bridges, the brass skulls and the wooden bridges. I think both of them now have the AI triggers on there, or spline should say. Oh, come on, come on, there we go. My little over-the-top tractor as well. Here we go. Helps get around the map a little bit faster than normal. There we go. But yeah, if you ever get stuck to Rust now, actually to be honest, it's probably easier for you to start learning how to find mods yourself rather than us constantly sending you them. And the only thing I will say is be very careful, as always. Now, obviously, this is for everyone. If you're downloading off of a third-party website, obviously there is that big, huge issue where you could end up with viruses on your computer. But if you're very careful, you should be fine.
Thanks for the raid.
Mr. Evil Reyes raiding with a party of 25. Welcome in, buddy. How you doing? How was the stream, sir? Yes, I am once again streaming on a Saturday, which is really unusual. But as I haven't streamed all week due to my daughter being on a work placement with her school, yeah, I couldn't get in and do any, unfortunately. So, going to do today, and then, yeah, back to the usual setup next week. But hopefully I had a great stream. How is Fallout 4 doing? I know you and Darius are both playing it at the minute, and well, from what I've seen and heard, you're enjoying it a lot. Yeah, cool. Glad. Well, welcome in everybody, and obviously thank you once again for the raid. Sorry, my throat was getting a little bit sore there, so I thought I'd better have a quick drink. But yeah, it's definitely coming on. Obviously, welcoming everybody joining with Mr. Evil Reyes. Obviously, I am playing PV Canyon Crossing by Mr. Dajnet, who we may or may not be raiding off to in a little while. Who's been very much focused on Fishing Planet this last week or so. So, yeah. No worries. How are you enjoying it? I'm really loving it. I've got over 15. Actually, let's have a look. I have no idea how many hours. I know it's 1,500 hours. Oh, 1,600 hours now on here. I'm on to year 9. And yeah, I am really enjoying playing this map a lot. Compared to how it was when it first came out, obviously I've done my own little twist on things. So for example, this area here was primarily just grassland. Obviously I've come through, ploughed it up, created some fields. And yep, thank you very much for that T-Rex roar, and welcome in Mr. Jers. There's obviously other things like obviously adding in and replacing certain trees around the map. It's been a bit of a job, that's for sure. But yeah, what I've done, I'm trying to create something a bit more unique than what it was originally, but also have my little twist on it. So obviously where I'm from, the UK, I want to try and get in something a little bit different that you might not necessarily see on a lot of maps that's out there at the minute. And obviously, for quite some time, one of the things I've always wanted to do since 22 came out is create a area on a map for agroforestry. And if you're not sure what the heck I'm on about, so it's basically where you have plots of or an area set up that has strips of crop that is divided by trees. Hence the agroforestry, because it's mixing in forestry and the farming side of things. Now, what I've been doing in the last week while I've been off, for everyone just joining, is obviously on this map, this is a 16x map, so it's 16 times the size of a base game map. On here, there is a field, which is field 9, which is the size of field 9, a standard size map. So, as you can see, I've already started chopping it up. This is what I've been doing this last week. I've been going through this. It's taken a heck of a lot of time to do it. I got my first 5 crops already planted. Now each of these strips, I was going to keep going across. There's going to be roughly 22 to 24 strips created from field 9 on its own. Each strip will have a different crop in it. Obviously, this is primarily going through the stuff that's in the map that I've got. So, things like grass, poplar, obviously the vineyard stuff, it won't be going on there at all. But most of the rest of the stuff will be, including obviously the premium stuff. So the red beets and parsnips will, if there's space on there, I will get them in there as well. So there's literally going to be 1 crop per row. Now, obviously, the time of the year I'm in is October, so there's no way of getting the trees down quite yet. But this is what I've got so far. I got the first 5 rows planted. So I've got wheat, I've got barley, I've got canola, I've got oh crumbs, flax, and then I've got mustard planted so far. Obviously, I've got to now wait till next year in spring to do the rest of the field. But yeah, this is what I am working on at the minute. This is a big project. I've wanted to do this for quite some time, and only this now I've been able to really do it. I've got the money there, ready for replacing now the trees. Now, looking at the gap that I've created. So obviously, what I've done is I've done Each plot is going to be is 4 combine header widths. So I've used one of these, the 45-foot one. So it's 4 of these wide, and then there's going to be one gap of a width's worth for either 1 or 2 rows of trees to place down in between to divide them up. This is what I'm working on at the minute, and I'm thinking, because obviously one of the big things I'm lacking is maple sap. So I'm probably going to primarily use the maple trees for doing this project. So in between, and looking at it as well, I'm only going to be able to get one place down because of the size. Now, if I actually come into here, for example, under the productions, under orchards, we do have all of these different tree types that's been added in. Now, obviously we've got the maple trees when it draws in. If I say come here, so if I say for instance there for one row, as you can see the actual gap between them is quite big. So I am not going to be able to have 2 trees. So if I just set one up, say in the middle for example, I think that is going to work out pretty well. And obviously I've got plenty of room either side to go up with obviously the harvesting trailer to harvest them. Now obviously with the other trees however, if I place that around about the same place, what about there-ish? I might be able to squeeze 2 in, but it's going to be a little bit tricky. Because obviously when you place these down properly, it creates that little box at the bottom which may end up going into the fields that it's already sorted out. So I'm now thinking I might just do a single row of trees up the middle and be done with it that way. So for instance, that would be like the apples. Obviously I can't place these down yet because I'm out of season. But I think it's going to look pretty cool even with just one tree type in between. And it's normally done with like it could be birch, it could be elm trees, it could be any other type of tree that generally gets cut down, used, and then replanted. Whereas with these, obviously they're an orchard tree, it just makes sense. I can, yeah, do it that way. So, yeah, that's what I'm working on at the minute. So this is my little twist on the map, I suppose is the best way to put it, because I don't think anybody else has really thought of doing this sort of thing before. Obviously back in 19, I don't know how many people have ever played it, but there was Mercury Farms. It was out for 17 initially, but came back in 19. And that had a small area set up for it, and that's kind of where I got the idea for doing an agroforestry area ever since. Now I've never been really able to do it on any other map apart from No Man's Land. And obviously now that I've got a field pretty much there already, it just makes sense. Why not? And heck, if I ever get into do a map in 19 or 22, 25, whatever, the next Farming Simulator B, I might even implement something similar onto that map. So there's something else for you guys to think about. If I ever do a map, it may have agroforestry already set up in it. So yeah, that is going to be my little twist for the map. But yeah, obviously at the minute, my big thing at the minute is going through repainting a lot of these roads. So rather than being dirt, I'm actually making them gravel or something similar that the actual base game hired helpers can use successfully. And I've already done from my orchards to my main farm and tested it, and it works well. What am I looking for? A root crop harvester in it. Rootster there. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than the normal one that you might have. So yeah, but it's kind of nice that obviously where this map is so big, it gives a lot of you guys out there the option for being a bit more creative obviously you could actually make it how you want. You could take a whole forest if you wanted to, and well, make it into something of your own. You don't have to stick around with how it is Dave set up. You could literally go through and change it. For example, Mr. Grits fan. Wow, that is definitely well off. Yeah. Obviously, he's over up in this area. I know that he's created like a something similar to the agroforestry, but without the trees added in. He's got like a lot of little plots set up for different crop types. So he's putting his little mark on. I know he's actually going through the farm area, creating his own little custom farm as well, which is quite nice. But yeah, I know Green Thumb Farmer, for example, at the top here as well. He's creating his own little farm area. Obviously, he's on the center map there as well, or center farm. So yeah, that is one nice thing where it is so huge. So yeah, you got loads of these grassland areas you could turn into fields or production area. Obviously, the nice thing is, obviously, the fairgrounds right here, if you still have it, can be removed. I've now removed it from mine, so yay. Um, so you don't have to necessarily stick to the fields as they are. You could expand them, you could merge them. For example, 32, 31, and 30 over here at the top left corner. You could merge them all into one, remove the trees in between, make them one big long field there. That'd be great. Obviously, for me, for example, 33, I actually went around it and expanded it that way. And then I've obviously been going through adding in trees around it for a barrier. Same with 34, I've expanded that quite a bit compared to how it was originally. 37 and 36 have been expanded. Technically, what I could do, if I really wanted to, is I've actually got trees planted there. I could rip them out with a harvester and make that into one big field. That's an option as well. Um, Obviously, regarding the orchards, obviously I've taken 47 and 48 and actually 49 now and turned them into an orchard, greenhouse, vineyard area. So all these little strips, these are actually the orchards. This area up here is my greenhouses, and then down here is all my vineyards. So the hops, the grapes, and all that. So yeah, you don't have to keep the fields there if you want to. Well, actually, what you could do is merge them two fields together. You could merge those two together if you wanted to. These ones here you could merge together. So there's a whole lot of potential. You don't have to keep it as it is, guys. So bear that one in mind. Now I'm kind of curious why he isn't unloading. Oh, I see. Because the truck's in the way. But anyway, guys, yeah, obviously I am going to be back on Monday. I'm just going to get this guy out of the way. I am aiming to do the 3-hour stream instead of 2 on Monday, and then 2 hours Wednesday and Friday for this week. Obviously, that's my usual-ish schedule. Obviously, my daughter has a doctor's appointment on Wednesday, which means I'm going to have to. I might be a little bit late, so hence why I've gone for the 2 hour. Oh, excuse me, the 2 hours. So it might be starting an hour later than usual, but I should be around. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If nothing drastic happens, she's had some issues with her wrist, not being able to turn them around. So, got to get that looked into this week. I'm coming, but yeah, hopefully 3 hours Monday, 2 hours Wednesday, 2 hours Friday. But for today, that is going to be it. Because obviously my wife wasn't feeling very well. Literally as I went live earlier, she came through and said, "I'm not feeling very well. Can you only do the 2 hours?" So, fair enough. Um, so yeah, I am going to jump off now and leave it there. But a big, huge thank you to all you guys for coming out. Obviously, thanks Mr. Evil Reyes for the raid. Thank you for all the knocks, all the sound alerts and stuff earlier on. It was much appreciated. Right, so let's get over to the ending screen and I will see who the heck I can find. out there. Let's come over here. Go to Twitch. We're going to mute that. So I do see Mr. Wheels 247 is currently live doing some fishing planet. So I think we'll raid over to him, and I believe he's going to go on until Mr. Dave goes live. I think he's hoping to go live around about 4 o'clock his time, which is probably going to be in the next hour or so. So yay. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. He's really focused on Fishing Planet at the minute. Obviously, I know in his last stream, Mr. Dave did catch his what was it, Goliath grouper Asaurus thing. So yeah, he's doing really well. Right then, so let's get this raid going, and we will find Mr. Wheels 24/7. There he is in my little list. But yeah, if you're not following Mr. Wheels 24/7, please stick around, guys, and give him a follow when you get there. Say a hi as well. And yeah, obviously, like I said, I will be back on Monday. Same time, same place. Obviously, it will be 3 hours. Just a reminder, 3 hours on a Monday. Woohoo! I would love to be able to do 3 hours again as normal. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you really soon. Bye for now.
If you buy this at level 31 and you play it